Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, welcome back. It's that time once more. It's lantern time. What else? Anyways, I have a little explaining to do. I do. So I did make a video last week and I uploaded it and everything seemed to be fine, but there was something that happened with it and I was very unsatisfied. So I made it private and I'm remaking it now. So sorry. My mistake. It's what happens in the big city, in the industry, YouTube industry. Anyway, so sorry this is a late video. I know it's been over a week. I understand, my mistake. But anyhow, we're here together now. Gonna have a little smoke out here. Gonna spark up some Edward G. Robinson, you know. So, now we're gonna get to it here. There we go. We're good to go. Nice. Anyway. Well, we're burning our Norlay diamond. This is a copper fount lantern made by Embury for Norvell Shapley Diamond brand out of St. Louis. Now, some people would prefer Shapley or Shapley. You decide what it's going to be, okay? But anyhow, this is a special lantern. I've had it for a number of years. Yeah. Had it since about, at least, 2020, I want to say. And Tubular Lantern member Kelly Medeiros posted one of these and I fell in love with the design. I'm like, that is a really handsome, stylish looking cold blast. And that was before I was really into cold blasts, because at that point I just wanted square tube 1890s lanterns. I know. I did. But now I like cold blasts as well. Still like the other stuff, but these are really cool too. Yeah. Yeah, I'm wearing a coat. It's kind of chilly out here today. It's been raining most of the day. It's not too bad now. I might have to make a run to the grocery store soon, seeing as I don't like driving in the rain too much. But anyway, I have something to share with you guys. For those who didn't get to see what I was sharing last week, we're going to share another lantern similar to this. Similar to this. There we go. Check this out. Look at that. That's right. It's a twin, essentially. There's only some very minor details that are different than that one to this one. It's essentially the same period. Hear all those horns honking? That sounds... Well, there's a four-way stop sign and people they act the fool all the time down there. Yeah. Oh, the me first, me last, me always. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, they're number two cold blast made by Embury as well. And you can see that the fount is domed like the copper one. Very stylish. That was a trait or a style that was available from Embury for a lot of the jobber lanterns. I had another lantern that had a same fount style. It just said 350, was it 350 special? And it had no hardware company's name on it at all. So it was just, it didn't even say Embury. It just said 350 special. So sometimes if a hardware retailer wanted to have its own brand, they would just make labels and hang them from the bale with the little hang tag with their store brand, and then only have maybe like simple things stamped on the fountain, because all this stamping costs money. Like you have stamping on here. On here it has the Norlay Diamond, you know, little logo, and it says Shapley Hardware Company in St. Louis, Missouri. And then also, of course, on the baffle here it says Norlay Diamond. So same with this one, and this one has a marked globe too. Yeah, check that out. Pretty crazy. Marked globes, marked lantern, all over the place. It was very hard to mistake a Norvell, you know, Shapley lantern. It really was, and it was very obvious when you saw one, and that was the trick. That was very much the way jobbers were. So they had to stand apart, you know, from the regular the regular production lanterns that Embry, Dietz, and other companies made at that time. They wanted to be very specific and very fancy. Now, why has one got a copper fountain and a copper crown on it, and this one doesn't? Price difference. Copper's more expensive, doesn't rust, it's softer, and it's prettier. So people would spend a little bit more money to get one like that than the regular tin version. So if you're on a budget, you just get the tin version. You know, and it did the same thing. It burned the same way. In fact, this one burns really well, and I'll show you. Oh, come on. These matches, I swear. There we go. There we are. Ah, there we are. Cool. So, there we are. Pretty cool. Now, there's something special about this one. It's besides it being a jobber that's similar to the copper fountain one that I have. You know, it's interesting because it came to me from a member, from a subscriber, and there's a gentleman named Gary out there, Gary Cobb, and he's in the Tubular Lantern group, and he's also a subscriber of mine, and he sends me messages often, and he asks questions about certain lanterns and wants to learn, and I'm always happy to help him out, learn about lanterns and how to date them and what he's looking at when he finds something that he's considering to buy. Well, I do that out of the kindness of my heart because I want people to know about these things and understand what they are and why they're enjoyable, right? Right. Well, he sent me a message on Facebook and just asked me for my address. I'm like, oh, okay, sure, you know. So I gave him my address, and he says, well, just keep your eyes peeled. You'll be getting something. I'm like, oh, okay, nice. So I get a box, and I open it, and there's an envelope, and I read this nice letter, and he's expressing his gratitude for my information and me taking time to answer his messages on Facebook and to, you know, perpetuate his knowledge and understanding of tubular lanterns. He's a pressure guy. He likes Coleman stuff, Coleman lanterns and pressure lanterns of that ilk, and also camp stoves. So, you know, it's pretty cool that he felt compelled or impressed that he wanted to send me one of these. He has one of these, and he had found a spare, and he wanted to share it with me. And he didn't clean it, or he didn't touch it, because he knows that I like them more or less as found. And I really appreciate that. And I haven't touched it, as you can see. It's it's really nice. It's really nice. Anyway, it's a beautiful piece and burns really well, exactly how it came. It has a wick in there, and it just burns really, really nice. And it's fun to have two of the same. Now, the only real difference is the chimney, or the globe fitter and the chimney there. This has got steps and ribs in it, and this one's more bell-shaped like the later Embry, style lanterns. I've seen this same lantern with the same smoke bell, all tin. This would have been bright tin originally. But this one was probably 1 year later. If that was probably only a specific year, or maybe 2 years tops, but late teens, for sure, late teens, pre-20. This one doesn't have the marked globe because it probably broke and was replaced with a regular unmarked squat globe, which fits fine. Yeah, but it's an interesting thing about this hobby. It does a lot of good. People are generous, and people are, they think of each other sometimes. And, I think as the world continues and people feel that negativity is overwhelming and we get desensitized to the little things, and we think that nobody cares, nobody listens, well, I think that's wrong. I think a lot of people do listen, and a lot of people do care. There's a lot of really interesting and wonderful people I've met through this hobby. It's true. It's a kind of a niche hobby. It's not like a well-recognized hobby like coin collecting or stuff like that, or collecting antique electric guitars that were played by rock stars. I mean, this is a very simple, elementary type of hobby, but it does have nuances. It does have specific lanterns that collectors do go after that spend a lot of money on. It's kind of incredible, really. My neighbor needs to get a lube job on this truck. You hear squeaking? Yeah, his springs are squeaking. Anyways, some people do nice things for each other, and some people do it just because they feel it's the right thing to do, whether they're asked to or not, or whatever. They just like, well, shoot, Rob's been so helpful with my, lantern questions, and I guess I kind of want to send him a lantern, so he did. So thank you, Gary. It means a lot. That was a very classy thing to do. Now, do I expect the lantern from all of you guys? Of course not. I don't expect anything besides liking and subscribing. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Grow the channel. Damn it. I know, I got to do my own thing to help grow this channel, but I mean, it's bigger than it was when I first started. If you go way back to the very first video I made for the channel, back when I was still 35 GE monitor TC, I can't even say it anymore. I've come a long way. My editing skills are getting better, and I have a great camera, thanks to my brother. And I have some fun stuff to share still. Now, I do have another lantern I want to share, but I'll wait till next week. I think you'll like it. It's along the same lines as these. We're going to do a little bit of a jobber run here. We're going to do a little series just about jobber lanterns. Now, some people might question what a jobber lantern is. Why do you call it a jobber? Well, that's a good question. Why do they call them jobbers? Well, let's analyze it a little bit. They were sold at hardware stores. They were the premium store brand. Okay? And at that time, hardware stores had a premium store brand, and they wanted their store brand to be recognized, and they felt that it was superior to the other name brand merchandise they would carry in their store. Even though the merchandise they had their name on was probably made by some of the same companies that made stuff for their that were carried in their own stores. Yep. But yeah, I like them because they're different. They stand out, and a lot of times they either have copper or brass founts and crowns and fancy stamping all over the darn thing, and sometimes they have some remnants of old red Japanning or paint on them, and they were special. They were different, but they were competitively priced, maybe a little more expensive than a regular, Dietz or something, but they were definitely appealing to the contractor, to the farmer, for jobs, to use as on jobs at night when you needed to have light, when going to the barn and going to the outhouse or just doing anything around your farm or property at that time was something you definitely needed a light for. So these lanterns were very helpful for people in rural areas, especially for walking around, going from friends to friends' houses, and when you didn't have any outdoor lighting or street lamps. In some nicer homes, nice, more well-to-do families, they would spend a little more money and get a fancy one with nice copper fittings and fount and everything, and walking along to go play bridge at someone's house or pay a social call, whatever. That's how it was. But yeah, it was kind of a fancy little touch, and they offered a fancier appearance through the same companies that also had lanterns in many of their same stores. But jobbers are cool. I like them. I have a very soft spot for jobber lanterns, and if you find one, they're fun. I like them. So for some of those newcomers, if you find a lantern that looks kind of like an Embry or a CT Ham, but it has a different name on it, then you most likely have found a jobber, a store brand from a long gone hardware chain or department store. Especially Embry. Embry made lanterns for Montgomery Ward's and Sears too. So they had their own store brand stamped on these lanterns as well. Montgomery Ward's had, their own store brand, and so did Sears. So I think Sears was Elgin, and what was Montgomery Ward's? I can't recall at the moment, but yeah, it's fun stuff, and you'll find them. They're out there, of course. But there we go. Cold blasts. I thought appropriate for a cold, rainy day. But they're nice, and they burn very well. And thank you again to member, subscriber Gary for the very thoughtful gift. And you're paid up, sir. You can ask me any question relating to lanterns as much as you like. I do appreciate it. And nobody feel obligated to send me any lanterns. I do have a list of ones I want, and I can supply that if you insist. I'm just kidding. I'm actually slowing down. I'm trying not to buy too many more lanterns right now, in fact, so it's all good. But I have a lot of nice things, and I enjoy them. And I enjoy your company. I enjoy your participation in the channel, and it's you guys that make this channel what it is. It's true. It's true. So I guess I'll just keep on doing it. So yeah, take it easy, everyone, and have a good afternoon, evening, and the rest of your week. And we'll see you again next time. Bye bye. Sit, boo boo, sit. Good dog.